Dumelang, what's up, what's going on? It's Afedo, who's that? Welcome to the #1 science and education show, Lanagu, SABC 1. Lenega SABC Teenagers on a Mission.
Yeah, well, yes, but there's no place to be but here, yes, right here on SABC 1. And we're about to take you on yet another adventure.
Okay, guys, I've got a quick question for you, ne? Do you think there's life on other planets?
Caddy. That looks cooler for just a second.
Okay.
Even our planet, it's special because it's situated in such a way that provides life.
Okay. Well, guess what again? I'm a scientist on a mission to actually find out more about the red planets.
Which planet is this?
Planet Mars.
Ah, yes, I've heard things about that. I've really heard things about that. But I know one thing for sure is that amanzi as well as sunlight would need to be a thing on that planet if it were to be a thing.
Well, guess what? You know Mars was like Earth before?
Really?
And then something happened. Yes, most definitely. That's why I'm a scientist are on a quest to actually find out what actually happened to planet Mars.
Wow, Mamela Inkube Namhlanje is about to be jam-packed with discoveries. Let's hit it!
We interview Major General Bolden from the US who has been to space. We drink from his well of wisdom about space exploration and his experience in space. Tolagabanti about the scientific goals of the Mars exploration program, its implication for future science research. Namhlanje Tolagabanti about the science of space exploration. Check out the history of Mars exploration. We also look at what the future holds for Mars exploration. And remember to concentrate in order to answer the quiz.
The time that you guys have been waiting for has finally arrived. Last Kulumanani on our social media pages. So Samira Sanbuzo, which planet would you love to live in and why? I've got a message coming in from Carol. Ati certain is beautiful and I'd like to see the view of the ring from inside the planet or maybe stand on the ring if possible. That would be a beautiful view indeed. Nakumla prefer to keep the conversation going on our social media pages. On Facebook, see TOMz, and on Twitter, see TOMz_SABC_1. Right now, Buzabantu in the streets, a few questions. Let's go find out what they had to say. Cover this. Hey yo, what's up? It's your boy CAWDR, pronounced Caddy. Yet again on another mission running the streets of Johannesburg. Bramfontein. Okay, offense, what is Mars?
Yeah, one thing that I know about Mars is somewhere in space.
Mars is basically a planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it hasn't been discovered that there's life on Mars as yet, but astronologists are still in the process of discovering if there's life on Mars.
Do you think there's life on Mars?
No, I don't think so.
I live on Earth, bruh, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, maybe, because apparently they were growing potatoes on Mars to see if there's life.
I think there should be life on Mars in the future.
Why do you think so?
Scientifically speaking, I think there's no life that's non-existent wherever else you live in the world. Mars is no exception, really.
Okay. Recently they just said there is life, but I'm not sure. But to be honest, I don't think there's life in any other planet, you know,
Okay, cool. So if ever Mars, would you actually go to Mars?
Yeah, if there's the only option, I would do that,
Well, if there's oxygen and water, probably I would go.
Yeah.
I'm fine where I am.
What color is Mars?
I feel like Mars is like Earth, like it's the same as planet Earth. Yeah,
so it's more like greenish and blue?
Yeah.
I think it's red.
Is it orange or something? Orange? I'm not sure. I think so.
Dala bantu bezama ukufunda ngamazulu as well as celestial bodies to understand the meaning and order of the universe around them. Space exploration has pushed scientists to learn more about planets other than Earth and to figure out, is there life anywhere else? Let's check this out.
Astronomy is the study of the universe. It deals with celestial objects such as planets, inkanyezi, comets, meteors, nebulae, and galaxies, and various phenomena involving these objects. It comes from two Greek words. Astro, ikazuguti is star, and nomos, which means law. So astronomy ikazuguti ene law of the stars. Astronomy has two main branches. Optical astronomy primarily uses telescopes to study visible objects in the universe, while non-optical astronomy deals with the study of characteristics in the universe that are not visible to the naked eye through the use of other sophisticated instruments aside from telescopes such as electromagnetic spectrum or space rovers, which give information on how the stars and other celestial bodies are formed. In 1957 to 1970, the Soviet Union and NASA made attempts to explore Mars to no avail, as spacecrafts did not reach the Earth's orbit. Before 1979, also science Mars looked like the moon. However, when spacecraft Mariner 9 made some interesting discoveries and spent nearly a year orbiting the red planet and returned with 7,329 photos. In 1975, NASA launched the Viking missions. Viking 1 and Viking 2 both successfully arrived in 1976, sending a lander to each surface while the orbiter remained working above. Viking represented the first extended exploration of Mars, with each spacecraft lasting years and transmitting reams of information. In 1990, NASA made another attempt with a spacecraft that was supposed to cost $212 million. However, the Mars observer was lost before achieving orbit in 1993, August 21, due to what scientists thought could be a fuel tank rupture.
Guys, Katie, one thing I can tell you,
Yeah.
space exploration, busy.
Definitely. And I guess some scientists are not giving up, even though they've failed so many times making their way to the planet Mars.
True that. What have you guys been learning so far? Please, let us test you. Please write down all your comments on our social media pages. So we are going. Welcome back, Mazalwane! You guys made me so happy, you make me wanna sing.
Do I make you happy by just being next to you?
Well, we're matching, so that makes me happy. Red planet. Namkelekile, yet another episode where we delve into fantastic topics.
Yeah.
We are learning all about Mars.
Okay, so tell me, if you had the opportunity to go to space, would you do it?
Andazi has umnyama payan, and it's very scary.
I wouldn't go because I won't be able to change the wardrobe. But imagine wearing a spacesuit the whole day, every day.
Wow. Even after meeting one of the most bravest space explorers, he's so busy about clothes. Hopefully you guys will be inspired, okay? Let's go meet up with our expert.
Boom shakalaka, you know who it is. It's your boy C-A-D-D-Y, pronounced Caddy. I'm on another mission running the streets of Johannesburg. I'm trying to touch down a University of Wits. So okay, was buzo ntwana ukuthi kahle kahle kunjani ukuya ku space, and futhi is there life out there, and futhi eMars ngakhona ukuphila. Well, you are about to find out all of that right now. Asamba sithola kabazi ukuthi sihlangana nobani and siphathele into ezinjani. Let's go. Hello and welcome to the show.
Good to be here. Teenagers on a mission.
Yes, most definitely. So I know who you are. So can you please tell the viewers at home who you are and what do you do?
Yeah, my name is Charles Bolden, and I'm a Marine who's now retired, so I'm not on active duty anymore.
Yes.
But more importantly, I'm serving for 1 year as a U.S. State Department science envoy for space.
Yes.
And I'm traveling around the world. We're trying to get to 4 or 5 regions of the world over that 12-month period of time to talk about STEM education with kids, to talk with businesses and government leaders about collaborating with the United States to let everybody know that about the opportunities that are there to work both in space and science and technology, as well as in the commercial sector with U.S. and U.S. companies.
Okay, so tell us about your experience. How was it? How long were you there for?
I flew 4 times, and my longest flight was 9 days. So I was what I consider a camper.
Okay.
Nowadays, people live and work on the International Space Station. So a short mission on the International Space Station might be 4 months. A typical mission is 6 months to 8 months. And we've actually had an American, Scott Kelly, who spent a year with his Russian counterpart, Mikhail Kornienko, back in 2015.
Why kubalulekile for abantwana to actually othida abantu to actually sazi ngespace nokuba astronauts? Why kubalulekile for thina?
Because you could not survive without space.
Yes.
My watch, your watch, the timer on the cameras and everything, that all comes from space. So your bank, as a matter of fact, if you want to go to the ATM machine, take the satellite away that sends the timing signal down to the bank and you're out of luck. So space is everything for us today. We've spoiled ourselves on space. Also, it's important for us to use transportation in space to get to other parts of our solar system and maybe one of these days to other places in the universe. So so that we can ask important questions about what's happening, say, on Mars that used to be like Earth, and what caused it to go downhill and downhill fast, because we don't want Earth to end up like Mars. And the best way to find out how not to do that is to find out what happened to Mars by going in and actually looking around and asking questions as we go there.
Its space shuttle is the world's first reusable spacecraft and the first spacecraft in history that can carry large satellites both to and from orbit. The shuttle launches like a rocket, maneuvers in Earth orbit like a spacecraft, and lands like an airplane. The space shuttle consists of 3 major components. The orbiter, which houses the crew, a large external tank that holds fuel for the main engines, and 2 solid rocket boosters which provide most of the shuttle's lift during the first 2 minutes of flight. All of the components are reused except for the external fuel tank, which burns up in the atmosphere after each launch.
Njengoba nifuna yonke le mibuzo ukuthi akhona amanye ama-planets afana njenge-Earth, why is that important for us to actually discover ukuthi zikhona ezinye indawo abantu bangaphila kuzo?
It's in the human DNA. We're innately curious. But the other thing is, if we find that there is life elsewhere in the universe, the way that most of us believe, it's just a whole new day for humanity. The fact that we know that there are some other life forms out there, and it'll say there may even be additional intelligent life forms, that we may be able to find out things about us and about our planet that we never knew before. Again, every question is trying to find out how we make life better here on planet Earth, since it's the only one that we have right now that we know we can survive on. So we need to take care of it.
Okay. And we know that Mars was almost like Earth.
Mars was somewhat like Earth in 1 billion years ago, or maybe 2 billion years ago. But we know it was much like Earth, and we want to know what happened to it. We want to know why it doesn't have a magnetic field anymore. And we look at it now through instruments on orbiting satellites that we've put there. We can just watch Mars's atmosphere being scraped away by energy from the sun. We don't want that to happen to the Earth.
Is the gravity on Mars the same as Earth?
Well, Mars is a teeny bit smaller than Earth, and gravity of a body usually is somewhat dependent on its size, so it's proportional to the size. So Mars's gravity is a little bit more than about 1/6 of Earth's gravity. So if you look at the way that astronauts perform when they were on the moon, you know how it seemed like they were floating when they stepped? It'll be similar to that, not quite that bad, but Mars's gravity is less than we have on Earth.
Yes. Okay, cool. So let's talk about the atmosphere in Mars. What does it compose? What does it contain?
Basically, what we found from both rovers, landers, and orbiting spacecraft is that Mars's atmosphere is dominantly carbon dioxide. Right away, that says that's not good for humans. However, we have a mission coming up. We're going to put another Curiosity-like rover on Mars, and right now we're unimaginative, so its name is the Mars 2020 rover that's going to launch in 2020. One of the big experiments on the 2020 rover is an experiment. The acronym is MOXIE, and it's Mars something. But what we're going to do is actually use it to grab some of the carbon dioxide out of the Martian atmosphere and then chemically dissociate it, take it apart, so that we have captured oxygen that can be used for breathing, or oxygen that can be used for propulsion, for a fuel for a rocket ship or something like that. So it's a form of what we call in situ resource utilization, where we go to a place like Mars or the Moon and we take advantage of the resources that we find there rather than taking stuff with us. We know methane exists in some quantities in the Martian soil. We believe that there are other kind of rare metals and the like, so there's a lot of stuff we can get there. What we don't know for sure is whether there are living organisms on Mars. We're hoping there are, because if we can find microbes, we already know that we can take microbes, we can make food, we can make building material. There's all kinds of things we can do if we can find microbes, and because we use the waste the poop that microbes put out for like a glue to make concrete and do other things.
Oh wow, bafethu, Major General Bolden is so knowledgeable about space. Why are my scientists interested in finding out is there life or we can live in space?
Well, I'm assuming that one day we'd all just take a big ship and go to Mars when Earth is dilapidated by our bad decisions.
I wonder if Sizokon can afford that. I don't know, hey? But otherwise, Tina is joining in on this conversation on our social media pages. Good Nina Nikabanga, do you think one day we're just gonna all go in one ship like Noah's Ark and then up to space?
Something to think about.
Welcome back, Buffet. Together, Chabuloguti ni supplement nati konala on your #1 channel, SABC 1. Kumbe first with the step in this bugala is visiting teenagers on a mission.
Yes. And I know some of you grade 8 and 9 learners are actually studying natural sciences, which means you are learning about this topic exactly. How exciting.
Yes, most definitely. The episode again, I hope you are motivated into the astronomy STEM related careers. You know, pass over I'm a scientist one day. Right now, as we are to measure. I can see that there's a lot of technology that you guys are busy with to actually take us to Mars. How's that going? How's the future looking when it comes to equipment and technology going to Mars?
It's looking pretty well. We constantly are developing new technology. So NASA working with our international partners, among them are the South African National Space Agency, agencies throughout. We were in Ethiopia. So Ethiopia has a very small space agency, but we work with them. There are a number of other African nations that are starting space agencies, and we work with in excess of 120 countries around the world. Okay. We have more than 800 active agreements, and it covers everything from basic education, like math and science, all the way up through human space flight and interplanetary travel. So there's a lot of stuff going on.
Our space rovers are submitting the following to gather information on Mars. Panoramic camera for determining the mineralogy, texture, and structure of the local terrain. Miniature thermal emission spectrometer for identifying promising rocks and soils for closer examination and for determining the processes that formed Martain rocks. Mosbawa spectrometer for close-up investigations of the mineralogy of iron-bearing rocks and soils. Alpha particle X-ray spectrometer for close-up analysis of the abundances of elements that make up rocks and soils. Magnets for collecting magnetic dust particles. Microscopic imager for obtaining close-up, high-resolution images of rocks and soils. Rock abrasion tool for removing dusty and weathered rock surfaces and exposing fresh material for examination by instruments on board.
So for abantwana abahleli endlini who actually want to be astronauts, yiphi advice obaphathele yona?
Tell them to unchill and go study. Okay. So that's one thing. And then work really, really hard at whatever it is that they want to do. If they think they want to be an astronomer or an astrophysicist, or if they think they want to teach or be a musician, really work hard at it. Try to become the best they can be by practice. So that's when I say work hard. And the final thing is just don't ever be afraid of failure. I never wanted to be an astronaut. I never dreamed of being an astronaut. Until I met a guy named Dr. Ron McNair. He became my role model, my idol. Ron and I both grew up in segregated South Carolina, and I just, because of the way I grew up, I didn't think a black could become an astronaut, so never even crossed my mind. Unlike me, Ron always wanted to be an astronaut. And so everything that he did in his early life was focusing on meeting all the requirements to become an astronaut. And he went to MIT and earned a PhD in laser physics, became one of the world's foremost laser physicists, was an accomplished jazz saxophonist, 5th degree black belt in karate.
So thank you so much. You're an inspiration to everyone. Thank you so much. Aye, Buffet. Otherwise, indaba yethu iphelela lana. I hope you guys have learned a lot when it comes to space exploration. Umuntu esikhuluma naye namhlanje ke bafethu umuntu ohambile waye space and usitshele kabanzi ukuthi why kubalekile for thina ukuthi sifundise ngespace. Otherwise, mission yethu iphelela lana. Your boy C AWDY pronounced Caddy is out of here.
Yes, Kedina.
Yeah.
Come to think of it, the technology of space exploration has come a really long way.
Yes, most definitely. Yes, Tina, as our bound that can't actually go to Mars at the moment.
Very, very true. And another fact, unlike Earth, Mars is full of poisonous gases that fill the air.
True.
So I don't think that planet is ready for Tina.
You'll never know.
Stay tuned, guys, to learn more about Mars.
Did you know that a space shuttle orbits Earth at 28,000 km per hour? Imagine moving that fast all the time. Did you know that that means that in one day, an astronaut orbiting Earth will see 47 sunsets and sunrises in 24 hours? Ubuwazi ukuthi iNASA ifunana nabantu with highly technical skills to go to space, such as onjiniyela nama medical doctors. So you can be an astronaut by having an array of different skills. Ubuwazi ukuthi a spacesuit weighs approximately 127 kg without the astronaut, and it takes 45 minutes to put on. Ubuwazi ukuthi the South African National Space Agency, abbreviated SANSA, is South Africa's government agency responsible for the promotion and development of aeronautics and aerospace space research.
The big science question for all the Mars exploration rovers, Bafethu, is how the past water activity on planet Mars actually influenced the red planet's environment over time.
Interesting. And like Earth, Mars has an atmosphere, a lithosphere, a cryosphere. Hi, Chunga, it's very much like planet Earth. Wow. Let's go see what the future has to hold for Mars.
NASA launched an observer to Mars in November 26, 2018. InSight Interior Exploration using seismic investigations, geodesy, and heat transport is a NASA Discovery Program mission that will place a single geophysical lander on Mars to study its deep interior. But InSight is more than a Mars mission. It is a terrestrial planet explorer that will address one of the most fundamental issues of planetary and solar system science, understanding the processes that shape the rocky planets of the inner solar system, including the Earth more than 4 billion years ago. Enye launch will be in July or August 2020. The Mars 2020 mission addresses high-priority science goals for Mars exploration, including key questions about the potential for life on Mars. Mission yesibili in the ExoMars program is the 2020 ExoMars rover and landing platform, a partnership between European Space Agency and Russia's Federal Space Agency Roscosmos. It is scheduled to launch in the spring of 2020 and land on Mars 9 months later.
Bafethu, space exploration is indeed taking new heights. What an amazing episode. I hope lapha emakhaya nifunde okuningi bafethu. Nikhumbule to keep tabs on the show. It's pretty simple. Go to www.sabceducation.co.za/TOMZ.
Absolutely. And if this world doesn't work out, I know that you, me, and all of us are going to get on that ship and go to Mars. What an exploration.
Most definitely.
Bye-bye, Kibitin, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's segment.
Cheers.
South Africa is realizing the importance of fiber optics and the way it can change its telecommunications environment. The technology lena has opened many doors for abantu namabhizinisi to grow in the digital and information age. Fiber optics has become a catalyst in growing South Africa and its future development. Kodwa kahle kahle iyini i-fiber optics futhi isebenza kanjani? In the 1840s, physicists identified that light signals could be bent when light followed flowing water. Namhlanje, fiber optics has become an integral part of everyday life and in many industries. But did you know some fun facts about fiber optics?